evening. Welcome to Chesterfield Township's informational meeting regarding Sunrise Special Assessment District, or commonly referred to SAD. The informational meeting is normally held in person. However, due to the impact of the COVID-19 crisis and in accordance with the social distancing restrictions, this informational meeting is held virtually via live stream. Public comments can be submitted online by going to Chesterfield Township's website at chesterfieldtwp.org. Residents can scroll down on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, Notice of Sunrise Informational Meeting. The second paragraph, it says click here to submit comments. You will come to a form center. It will appear. You do not need to sign in or create an account. Just leave a comment under public comment and questions. The agenda for the meeting is as follows. Introductions, the purpose of the meeting. The purpose of the meeting is to explain the procedures associated with the establishment of a special assessment district, including an explanation of improvement costs and construction. The Special Assessment District, SAD process. I'll give a brief overview of the procedures and talk about the steps that are involved in an SAD. The township engineer will give a brief history of the project and discuss cost estimates, and then we'll have questions and answers and closing remarks. This informational meeting is presented by myself, Carrie Beauvais, Township Assessor, and Mitch O'Connor, Township Engineer. I have listed both our email addresses for any additional questions that may come up after this meeting. Again, public comments are highly recommended. Use the online forum at chesterfieldtwp.org. The Special Assessment District process. Step 1 is a project initiation. This is the beginning process of special assessment districts. It is initiated either by the township or by citizens in a particular district area. Assessing performs a feasibility review and a formal petition is prepared. The township engineer then obtains costs for the project. As part of the beginning process, we hold an informational meeting with residents to explain the process. That's step 1. Step 2, we have the petitions circulation and sufficiency. Petitions are circulated and then reviewed by the assessor to determine if there's an approval of 51% or more of the benefiting lot frontage in order to proceed with the special assessment. Step 3 is resolution number 1. After petitions are verified and sufficiency has been met, the request will be brought before the Township Board of Trustees for consideration of a resolution to direct the project forward. During step 3, resolution number 2 will tentatively designate the special assessment district, setting a time and date for the first public hearing. Step 4 is a resolution number 3. It is the first public hearing of necessity. This is to declare the proposed improvement is necessary. Step 5 is bids. A sealed bid process is initiated. Cost estimates are refined based on bid results prepared by the county and township engineer. Step 6 is resolution number 4. This is done after the special assessment rule has Special assessments can be paid in full at any time throughout the term of the assessment roll. Are special assessments deductible on my income taxes? The answer is no. A special assessment is not a tax. As such, amounts paid for a special assessment are not deductible on your federal tax return. Can I pass the special assessment to a new buyer if I sell my house? Although the township allows for the assumption of an outstanding special assessment, most mortgage companies require an outstanding liens to be paid off at closing. It is our recommendation that you speak to your lender prior to selling or purchasing a home. This is Sunrise existing road condition, a brief history of the project. Mitch, if you can take over.
Yes, this is Mitch O'Connor, Township Engineer. And I'm going to speak a little bit about the 2019 project and the proposed 2021 project. In 2019, a special assessment was created for Sunrise. This informational meeting was held. The petition was released and circulated, and I think about 60% of the people voted in favor of the project. The project at the time was a mill and cap. The existing roadway was going to be milled and then capped with new asphalt, and it also including the removal and replacement of the culvert near Jan's Drive. Bids were received in 2019, actually twice, and the bid prices came in almost twice as much as the estimate. And because of that, the petition, because it was more than 10% of the cost of the project, the petition was closed and the project was killed. Since then, the county has actually gone out and replaced the Jan's Drive culvert. And during that time, when they seen the existing pavement cross-section, they determined that a mill and cap was no longer a viable project. They wanted a complete road reconstruction. So the 2021 project is a complete road reconstruction from the Jan's Drive culvert back to Jefferson, which means they have to excavate the existing roadway and the base and bring in a new gravel base and new asphalt, new HMA. The new project does not include the Jan's Drive culvert replacement, but it does include a new road reconstruction. So if you could go to the cost on the screen there you go. So the new estimated construction cost is $267,420. With that come the soft costs, the design, the contingencies, the construction engineering, which brings the total project cost to $413,691.20. Of that, the county would contribute 50%, which brings the assessable cost down to $206,000, $207,000. It would be the same process. So if tonight, if there's enough interest to proceed, we would release the petition to the petitioner. He would need to get 50% signatures, more than 50%. That petition would be brought back to the board for resolution to accept the petition, and then bids would be received again. If the bids come in within the 10% of this estimate, then we would go to the next resolution at the township board, which would be the spreading of the roll and actually build the project. If the bids come in like they did in 2019, more than 10% higher than what was circulated, then the petition could be the project could be killed again like it was in 2019 if the bids come back in too high. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to get input, get questions from the residents, answer all the questions about the project, and then we're going to take like a straw vote. We're going to ask people to go to the website and state whether they're for or against the project. If enough people are for the project, we'll get a hold of the petitioner and let him know that, we've had this meeting. He's probably online right now anyways. We've had this meeting, and more than half of the people who showed up at the meeting are interested in the project and pursue circulating the petition. If we don't get enough interest at tonight's meeting, will tell the petitioner that, and probably recommend that this project be terminated due to a lack of interest or lack of, want to move forward. So I think there is a Q&A box on the website, and we're asking that people go there and type in specific questions that they'd like answered. There is a little lag time, so there will be a little bit of time here where we don't have any questions to answer. I guess we could answer some specific general questions, right? The roads are owned and operated by the county road department, Macomb County Road Department. They are responsible for maintaining the road. When the Jans Drive culvert ultimately failed, it was the county's responsibility to go out there and fix it, so that's why that happened. If this petition does not pass, if no action is taken, Sunrise will be continued to be maintained as it is currently, which is, cold patching and just temporary fixes for the road. What's another general question? Taxes. The roads are paid for by Act 51 gas tax money that goes to the state. The state takes that money, and MDOT takes probably more than half, their fair share, what they consider their fair share, which is usually more than half, for the MDOT roads, for the Gratiot's, every road that has an MDOT jurisdiction. The cities and villages also get their share of the gas tax based on how many miles of pavement they have in their communities. And the counties get their share of the Act 51 money based on the same equation, how many roads they have, how many paved miles of road they have. The county historically has used that money to pave major roadways. 21 Mile Road, Jefferson. Historically, there's never money to pave into subdivision streets. So the county, again, historically, probably won't have money to go in and pave Sunrise or any other subdivision street.
So again, the charge is $2,522.50. This is per unit of benefit. We have 82 parcels. This special assessment, it would be a 10-year term. We're looking at other questions and answers. Please submit your question via the online.
Oh, just two questions? Okay, I object to, I'm going to read this one out loud as it's been presented to me here. I object to the assessment. The county should pay for it from our taxes. And again, the county gets gas tax money based on the paved roads, and there just isn't enough money to repave subdivision roads.
I received a letter on January 7th regarding, I cannot attend the meeting on January 11th, but I vote no on the special assessment. That's a letter that I received. I also received an email. I am opposed to additional taxes or assessments to improve Sunrise. I recently paid to have summertime repaired, only to have it destroyed after the heavy equipment used to build 4 new homes. With lack of work due to COVID, money is becoming scarce. They vote no.
Does anyone see or no audio on here? Reload the image. Will the new road include a storm sewer? The new road will include 2 new catch basins in the location where there's 2 catch basins now between Jefferson and Summertime. There's currently 2 catch basins there. Those 2 would be rebuilt and reconstructed. And then the Jan's Drive culvert has been replaced. So that area of the road will drain that way. I think at this time, we'd like to ask people to go onto the website and indicate their position if they're in favor or against the project.
Do you have another question?
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
Will they be elevated so they won't flood due to high water levels?
Read it out loud.
Oh, okay, here's another question. Will they be elevated so they won't flood due to high water levels? The existing catch basin rims and inverts will be put in about the same. The high water table is a problem. It's a problem for the existing road, for all the existing roads near Jefferson. The road itself cannot be raised much more than it is already. It's an existing 40-foot right-of-way. If you raise the road, then you start pushing the water, back into private property, which isn't the intent. So the road itself will have a crown, and then it will have 2 low points where the catch basins will be on each side of the road, which will be put in about the same location. And then the remainder of the pavement would be directed towards Jan's Drive and will discharge out near that new culvert that they replaced. So generally speaking, the road elevation will be placed back in at about the same elevation as now. It will be shaped with a crown in the middle to push the road to the gutters and then drain down to the catch basins.
Will the road be concrete or asphalt?
Oh, yeah. Will the road be concrete or asphalt? It would be put back in as an asphalt road. They're gonna excavate about 14 inches of material out of there, bring back in 6 inches of stone base, and then 8 inches of asphalt, which would be placed in 3 lifts. When they excavate the 14 inches of existing material, if there is soft spots or areas that aren't structurally sound, they'll dig down deeper in those areas and place stone to stabilize the site. So to answer the question, it would be asphalt, not concrete. I hope for 25,000 it would be concrete.
2,500.
Oh, 2,500, I'm sorry. Concrete and asphalt. For every concrete cross-section, there's an asphalt cross-section that's equivalent. So that's why you'll see asphalt road and concrete roads. So if there's a 6-inch concrete road, there's an asphalt equivalent to that 6 inches of concrete. And the county standard is 8 inches of asphalt. And you can hear me or can't hear me? We can? Okay. 8 inches of asphalt on 6 inches of stone base is the county standard.
Did you read that?
Oh, yeah. Sunrise is a public road operated and maintained by the county. The side streets are privately owned and maintained. So there is no special assessment option for the privately owned roads. Those have to be maintained privately, not through the township or through the county.
I also have comments on here. As a no vote, we pay enough taxes in the township and they do nothing for us. Another one says, support the proposal. If the roads are crappy, it will worsen our home values. It's an investment in the future. There's another question, will there be a weight limit?
The county operates the road, and there will, the weight limit will be for a subdivision street. So it means it'll be accessible for garbage trucks, normal construction, school buses, anything that can drive on any other road can drive on Sunrise after the construction's complete. Yeah, we already, yep.
We did that one?
Yep.
Okay.
I think we can start. We have, first off, thank you for the questions. And in the questions, a lot of people have already put your position on the project. I think we're gonna start tallying up the people for it and against it.
How do we formally vote?
Oh, at tonight's meeting, the vote is what you're doing right now. Just get online and say, I'm in favor of the project. Ultimately, the petitioner will have to take a petition and obtain written signatures from more than half the property owners. That petition is what will be presented to the board. So tonight's meeting is an informational meeting to see if there's enough interest to release the petition. So if enough people say yes, then the petitioner will come knocking on your door looking for some signatures. And that petition with original signatures is what is actually presented to the board. So this is not the first step, but it's still very early in the process.
So the 3 no's that I received earlier. Who maintains concrete subdivision roads?
Oh,
With patching or whole in part?
yeah, concrete, unless it's a condo or it's private roads, which that would be maintained and operated by the association. Most roads in Chesterfield Township are county maintained and owned. So if a road fails in another subdivision, it's the county's responsibility to go out there and repair it and make it passable.
I have a question. When was the last time the county repaved Sunrise?
Ooh, great question. I would, and I don't know, but I would bet that it was paved initially, and then since then, it's probably been piecemeal patched, with cold patch or some patch replacements. I doubt if they've repaved the entire road since it was initially installed, but I don't know that.
I have another question. What is the time frame on this project to be completed? The culvert took 2 months to complete. Are we looking at a year to complete this project?
Ooh, another good question. If the petition is circulated and received in a timely fashion, like before April, then this project would be bid with the county's annual, subdivision asphalt replacement project, which is done countywide. Those bids would be advertised in May, received in June, and probably awarded in July, and constructed in the late summer, early fall. The actual construction process will take about 2 weeks to go in and excavate the existing road and pour the new one. It would be done half width at a time to maintain traffic. But again, the actual construction time, the inconvenience time, would be about 2 weeks. And it would happen in late summer, early fall of this year.
I have a question from a resident saying, so because we are asphalt, we have to pay half?
No. The county contributes on road improvements. The county contributes 50% to road improvement projects, regardless of if it's concrete or asphalt.
I have another question saying, will the road be open throughout the construction?
Yes, one-way traffic will be maintained during the construction. So they'll be building half width at a time, one lane at a time. So you might have some inconvenience where you wait for traffic to pass, but it will be maintained during construction traffic. These are good. We're actually getting better input than I expected. I'm glad to see that.
Will there be new curbs installed?
No new curbs. It'll be asphalt with a crown, and then there will be a gutter line which directs the drainage transversely to the catch basins. But there will be no concrete curb and gutter.
Again, you'll want to input your project interest on the website so we can tally up votes. If the project gets approved, what's the time frame on making payments? That question I can answer is the project will be done in 2021, and then the bill will go through the finance department. They only bill in December, the winter bill. So if the project is completed in September, you'll get a winter tax bill. And again, the time frame is 10 years is what we're looking at. So every December, you would get an additional bill from the treasurer's office.
So roughly, if it's a $2,500 assessment, spread over 10 years, it'd be $250 per year, plus interest on the unpaid balance?
That is correct.
Okay. And then the interest is based on the standard of living, or if we sell bonds?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Or you could pay the entire
You
assessment
could pay the
right up
entire,
front.
and then you would waive all the interest.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct. Can you please explain why the last bid was $1,600 and now the culvert is done, it is now $2,500?
Great question. The original 2019 estimate was for a mill and cap. So a mill is they would actually peel off, let's say, 2.5 inches of existing asphalt and then cap that with another 2.5. So they would kind of peel off the top layer and put a new top layer on. When they did the Jans Drive culvert replacement, when they excavated to remove that culvert, they determined that the existing road base is unstable and saturated, and the mill and cap really wasn't a preferred option. So at that time, the county said this road is not a candidate for a mill and cap. It really needs to be replaced. So when you replace the road, now instead of milling a couple inches off the top, you have to remove 14 inches of material and haul that off-site and bring in a new base and new HMA, new asphalt. So that is why even though the culvert has been replaced and won't be included with this project, it's the county has taken that over, the construction has changed to it's basically a new road replacement, so that makes it more expensive.
A resident asked why was the primary estimate, I'm sorry, of the SAD doubled in 2019 when we voted on it?
Another good question. The original 2019 estimate was prepared by the county, and the estimate, especially for the culvert replacement, was wrong, was off. The project was actually bid twice to see if, the first time the prices came in exceptionally high. The project was rebid, looking to get more bidders to see if the cost could come down, and it didn't. That year the county bid, there was 6 streets that was bid in the county project that year. 5 of them didn't get built because they were way over the estimate. The only one that got built was Meadow Lane, which is a street in Chesterfield Township. And that one came in within the 10%, so that was the only road that got paved that year. This year, Roselawn was another special assessment, and that one, again, was bid with the county program. And that one came in less than the estimate, so that one got built. So this project, if it moves forward, would get, coupled or paired with other projects in the county to try and get a better price. The more work you award, usually the price goes down. So that is the plan again.
I have a resident says, I don't see this meeting listed on the township website. Where do we indicate our interest? You would scroll down to the live streaming and click on that, and then you would just actually, people are putting their interest in this feed, right? The same place that you put a question. You could also put whether or not you are interested, yes or no. And we're tailing it yes and no votes as they come in. I have a question. Are there people in attendance in person as well? There's only 17 people watching. How many yeses are needed to start canvassing the neighborhood for signatures? The answer is no. We have no one in the building. We are strictly doing online. I know it's not the best forum, but it's something we had to do because of all the restrictions. How many yeses do we need? We want.
And again, if there's, let's just say for discussion purposes, there's 20 people that are voting on the project, and 10 are for it and 10 are against it, we would, at that point, it's close enough that we would recommend releasing the petition. I think there's 82 properties.
Yes, there is.
So it's kind of a big X factor if only a quarter of the people are showing up. So if it's close from tonight's meeting, I would think we would want to release the petition and let the petitioner try and get more than half the people to sign up.
They are asking what is the interest percentage, and are you tailing votes up from the form center? We're tailing votes any way we can, basically. We are through our online, the forum here, through that form center, we're tailing on questions. People are putting yes and no, and we have their names and whether or not they're interested or not. People had sent letters ahead of time, emails as well. A question here is, do the lack of maintenance, the aggregate has eroded away? We shouldn't have to pay for repairs of neglect. We already pay for snow removal and repairs and sealing. And they vote no, okay? Can we have a petition going against?
No.
No.
No. I mean, if you're not in favor, you don't sign the petition. And if more than
correct.
if more than half the people don't want the project, then again, the project dies due to lack of interest.
Comment, water won't drain if canal levels are high.
That is true. The high water table is a problem for not only Sunrise, but every road on that side of Jefferson. So that is a true statement. guess we should probably talk about this. How many people are online? Jody, do we know how many people are online right now?
I have 17.
17? Not including us? So maybe 14?
At what time will you announce the vote results?
Another great question. We're kind of talking about that right now. Again, typically these meetings are held in person and they're typically very well attended. Yeah, this is a new format. I think we have about 15 to 20 people online right now, which is less than a quarter of the district. Yeah, we you know what we'll probably do, and it looks like it's what, maybe 5 for and 10 against, roughly speaking. We'll probably take that information,
I have another no.
get with the petitioner and let him know what he's gonna be up against it. If more than a half people aren't in favor of the project, then that's, I'm sure, or actually, I'm not sure, but I doubt he's interested in banging on doors and trying to talk people into this project. So he we'll get with the petitioner after this meeting, we'll get with him tomorrow.
I say send out the petitions and see what happens. I have a person that says I vote no at this time. What is the interest rate annually? And who is the petitioner?
The petitioner is Tim Kelly. Tim Kelly is the petitioner. The interest rate, again, is kind of variable. If the township sells bonds, let's just say for discussion purpose, and they get a 3% interest rate on those bonds, the township charges 1 point higher than 1% higher than what they sell the bonds at. So the interest, again, if they sell bonds at 3%, the district would be charged 4% for their unpaid balance.
I have a resident said, yes, I'm interested. Please go to the next steps of the project. So again, we are listing, we have the petitioners, their name and whether they're for or against. We're tallying up those. I have a resident saying, does each property owner get 1 vote? Can you protect against multiple votes coming from the same household? Each household gets 1 vote.
Yeah.
You want each unit of benefit.
Right. And keep in mind, again, the petitioner will have to still go out and get signatures. So tonight is kind of a straw vote. It's not the vote. So I guess it's feasible that many people are logged in that own one property and voting one way or the other. But regardless, it all works out when the petition is circulated. Each property owner can only sign for the lot they own.
But if you do have a husband and a wife residing at the property, they both have to sign.
Yes, anybody with an interest in the property has to sign the petition if they're in favor of the project.
Can water levels ruin the new road?
Yeah, high water tables and they can ruin it by getting into the stone grade, into the subbase, and kind of, weakening it. So yes, a high water table, if it gets into the road pavement, into the subgrade, it can, destabilize the road, especially if it gets in there and it goes through a few freeze-thaw cycles. So that is a concern. But the high water table, we know of no way to lower the lake level. So it's kind of something we'll have to deal with. Do we have like a cutoff or an ending point to this meeting?
The next slide says this meeting has ended.
Oh,
But they want to know what Tally's, so.
okay, so let's probably keep it open till 6:45.
Would a storm sewer project,
Protect against water damage.
protect, yes.
The storm sewer, if storm sewer is put in, it still needs somewhere to outlet. So yeah, storm sewer project is actually required on all construction, all new construction. You have to build a storm sewer. The problem is, in this area on that side of Jefferson, the lake level is so high that you really can't, your outlet is within a foot of the elevation of the road. So yes, storm sewers are required, and they do help because they drain the base. They get the water out of the road base. But when the lake level's this high, short of putting a plug in your outlet and then pumping over the seawall, which the county won't do, you just got to ride it out till the lake level goes down.
So at this time, 45 minutes into the meeting, we have 5 yes votes and 7 no.
My recommendation, because of the low
Turnout.
yeah, we should release the petition to the petitioner, kind of let him know where things fell, and see if he can come up with more than half the people to sign the petition.
That would be my recommendation as well.
And again, for the people who are not in favor of the project, do not sign the petition. It's that simple. If you are in favor of the project, then do sign the petition. And if more than half the people are in favor of the project, then the project would proceed to the next step, which is the petition is presented to the board accepts it, and then we would receive bids through the county for the construction.
Low turnout is an indictment of low interest?
Maybe.
Save the taxpayer dollars and do not send out a petition?
Yeah, to create the petition is a minimal cost, and I don't necessarily know that low turnout is a lack of interest.
Right.
Again, we had this meeting in 2019, and there was, I'm going to say more than half the people were here. I think the format might be more to blame for the low turnout. I mean, some people just aren't adapted at logging on and meeting this way.
I have a resident saying, considering the lake levels the way they are now, is this the best time to be redoing this road?
If the lake level was lower, it would be a better time to redo the road.
And then they said, try again later when water levels go down.
Always an option. If it fails this year, the special assessment process can be initiated by any property owner. So anybody who lives in this subdivision at any time can re-initiate the district. So if this year it fails, next year a new petitioner or the same petitioner can re-request the district and start it back up again.
A resident asks, what if we are not home when the petition comes around? Will we be notified when this is going to happen?
If you're not home, then
You can't sign.
Right.
That's it, yeah.
Right, if you're not there, you can't sign. So if the petitioner is, needing signatures, then he'll, try and find you when you're home. And it's not uncommon, this is a fairly large district, that the petitioner might assemble a team, maybe him and a couple of neighbors that are interested. Regardless, that if you want to sign the petition, you have to sign it.
And again, we need 51% of interest to proceed. So you'd be notified by letter.
Yeah, there's 82 projects, so 42 would be more than half. We do you want to go back to the slide that had our email addresses on there? And then, because it's kind of a clumsy process that we're running through here, if you were unable to get through, or if your neighbors were interested but unable to get through, there's 2 email addresses right there. You can send an email in the next couple of days or next couple of weeks, and we'll reply to your questions. And if you're interested, we'll probably forward your email to the petitioner, just so he's kind of aware of who's in favor and who's against it. Do you have any closing comments?
I don't have any further comments. No other, on the live chat, I haven't received any more comments from residents. So at this time, I think we will close the meeting.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for participating. It's been a little awkward and clumsy,
Yes.
but here we are. So again, if you have questions, please send emails, and then you might get knocked on the door, and it might be a petitioner. Thank you.
All right, thank you.